Good morning, guys. So today I decided I would do a get ready with me this morning. I know I look crazy, but this is my morning, and I figured I would go ahead and talk you through, and we can have a little chit chat while I get ready this morning, and maybe you can get to know me a little bit. I have sleep stylers inside my hair. First time I've tried them. Want my curly hair back, so I figured I would try. We'll see what it looks like. Worst case scenario, I just try to curl a few pieces and we'll go from there. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the sleep stylers out first, so maybe I won't look as crazy. So these I did for the first time this morning or last night, and I decided I'd sleep in them. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. So the interesting thing with this was that they weren't super easy to stick in. I mean, they were okay, I guess, but it was like I had a little bit of troubles right at the beginning. But the nice thing is if it, I don't know what I think right now. Right now it just looks nuts. You know, honestly, I thought it was gonna be a lot worse than it is. I'm not too mad at it. It looks a little bit nuts, but like, it's not anything you can't like run your fingers through and kind of make work. Kind of looks like retro-y, if that makes any sense. I'm not really that mad at it. It was a lot easier than me sitting here straightening it and curling it and all that stuff. Yeah, honestly, I'm not too mad at it, especially since it only took me like 10 minutes to do everything last night. So I'm not that mad at it. The only thing is that it's a little nuts. So, I mean, and it's all up in my face. It keeps like poking up. But really, it's a lot easier than trying to curl it individually. I think next time I'll add a few more curlers so that there's more curls and less like wave. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull my hair back so maybe it's not as in my face while I try to do the rest of this. The little curlers, on the other hand, are kind of annoying. I don't know. If you've tried it, you should tell me because I'm curious how it works on other people. I think they worked pretty well. I'm not mad at it at all. So I think I'm going to keep using them because it made my hair look decent. I think it's one of those things that I got to keep trying until I can figure it out. So we're going to keep trying it out. I think I'm going to do a does this thing really work on it and see, you know, try it a few different times to show. Just kind of like Bunny does on her channel. I love that she does that. She tries out all sorts of new things, and I think it's so cool. So I'm going to go ahead and do my makeup this morning, too. I'll just do an all-in-one, and then we can kind of chit-chat. I'm going to take some tape and put that on my eyes. I've got so much stuff underneath it. It looks like a mess. So what are you guys doing this week? I'm curious to know. It's Thanksgiving week when I'm uploading this, and so I'm kind of curious what you guys are doing on Thanksgiving or over the holidays in general. I know for us, we're splitting up time. We're going to my parents' house on Wednesday and doing Thanksgiving there, and then doing Thanksgiving at my mother-in-law's house on Thursday. And so I'm pretty excited, ready for Turkey Day. I just love it. Like, I love having turkey all the time. Well, you know, it's funny though, because I don't really like turkey. I always like the ham. I don't know if that's just me. Like, the turkey's okay, but you know, a lot of people overcook it, and you know, I'm not saying anything. Like, you know, everyone does it. Turkey's one of those things that are so hard to cook, and it's kind of annoying. Turkey is so big that it's so hard to cook, and even though I like eating it, if it's done really well, most of the time it's really hard to cook. So I always like the ham. And so I get all sorts of excited when my mom's like, oh, I'm making ham. I'm like, yes, Mom. You guys have any plans over? This is my first kind of chit chat, so it's kind of hard. You'd think like it's pretty easy, but it's kind of difficult because you're like, it's a one-sided conversation right now until you guys comment, and then I'll be able to figure out what's going on. But on my side, I'm trying to come up with topics And it's like, what else do I have to talk about? My life isn't that exciting. So a little bit about myself. I have 2 kids. Love them to death. I got up extra early this morning just so I could film a video so that there's not one in the video with me. My daughter is 3 and she loves videos to the point where she hijacks all my videos. So if it's just me, I can get it done a little bit faster. But when she takes over in the video, sometimes it gets a little bit nuts because she's so cute and she just wants to be part of every video. So I sometimes have to get up like super early. Like I think it's like 6 o'clock right now in the morning. So I have to get up pretty early just to film a video. If you hear anything in the background, it's this angry bird that I think my cat pissed off. See, there he is. And no matter what I do, I cannot get rid of him. I don't know what to do. If anyone has any advice on how to get rid of this bird, like tell me. I don't want to kill it, but I swear it's crazy. Like, and it's red and it's angry and I don't know what to do with him. He does this all day long. No matter what I do, this bird attacks my window all day long. Okay, back to before. Some other stuff about myself is I am a student. So I'm not only a mom, but a student. And I'm going to school for criminal justice. No idea what I'm doing with that. I'm sure there's people that can relate. They're like, I know I'm not the only one in the world that has no idea. I've gone to school a few different times. I've gone for culinary arts. I've gone for criminal justice, social work. I did computer science for a little bit. Like all over the place. Stuff that doesn't even... I don't know. I can never pick anything. I don't know if this is just me, but like every time I commit to something with it, I'm like, man, but something else sounds cool too. And something else sounds cool. Like I change my mind all the time. And I can never just like pick one thing because I'm afraid that if I pick one... Oh, history. That was another one. I did history for a while and I love history, but at the same time it's like, how do I make that into a career? And that's the problem nowadays, is you don't know how to make it into a career. As of right now, I'm relatively new to the whole YouTube game. I've been really enjoying it so far, but it is kind of difficult sometimes. It's kind of hard to get into the rhythm of trying to make videos, and it's kind of hard to pick one topic. Like, I'm sure there's other YouTubers out there that's hard to just pick one topic. So I was like, I'm just going to do a few because I like doing different stuff. I just figured I'd do one mom channel or something like that. Stuff I enjoy doing, because if I enjoy doing it, I'm sure there's other people that are going to enjoy watching me. By the way, I'm using the BH Cosmetics Carly Bible palette, one of my favorite, because if I'm looking for more subtle look, it's perfect, and it always applies perfectly. I used this color right here, and then this color. I used this color in the crease as like the first blending color, then this one on top of it, and then I went ahead and used this one. My daughter has gotten into it, so if you see any weirdness to it, that's what it is. I used this one a little bit lower in the crease. I used this one all over the lid before I started, and then now I'm going to go ahead and take this super pretty shade right here, and I'm going to put it in the beginning part, and I'm just going to apply that with my finger. I figured this wasn't so much a tutorial, but more of like a, let's get ready together. When I get ready in the morning, sometimes I like to watch other people kind of give me inspiration. A lot of times I watch a lot of the makeup channels and stuff to do inspiration. I'm planning on doing just a pure makeup channel, but I think it's interesting and it's easy for me to do, and I have a lot of interest in it. Yeah, I have a lot of interest in makeup channels and stuff, but I don't think that I want to make my channel a pure makeup channel, because I have so many different interests, so I'm going to put it all into one channel. Okay, and I'm going to take, I think, this purpley shade right there, and I'm going to put that as kind of a liner, so it's like a kind of a nice little liner. And the reason I have the tape is so that it makes this super easy to do. Hope you can see that. I think I want the purple to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to go into the She palette from ColourPop. I know this one's cracked, but again, my daughter gets into it. And I'm going to take the purple shade. I did wet it with a little bit of setting spray. You could just use water or whatever you have. I just had setting spray right next to me. The only problem I have with this purple color from ColourPop is it's not as pigmented as I would like it first. You have to like build it up, which has its pros and cons. Yeah, so my only issue with the ColourPop shadow is that a lot of times it's not as pigmented as I would like at the beginning. And so you have to build it up, which is a good and bad thing. It's a good thing when you're trying to blend out your shadows. But when you're trying to do things like line your eyes, it makes it kind of hard because you have to continue to build it up and build it up and build it up, and it makes it kind of hard to do. I'm trying to make this channel somewhat interesting, something different. So if there's anything that you want to see, you should tell me, because it's nice hearing from the outside what people want to see. So I'm going to go ahead and do foundation next. I'm just going to use the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation in Nude Ivory. One of my favorite foundations. I've been using different ones, and for whatever reason, this one is one of my favorites. It has pretty good coverage. It looks pretty nice on the skin, and I find that it lasts pretty long too. Plus, it's only like $6 or something. I put a lot of it on, but you know, it looks pretty good while blended out. And I'm just taking one of these like knockoff Artis brushes, and they're pretty good. I do this first just because it's easy to blend out and I don't have to stress out about it so much. I have no idea where this brush came from. It was in my sister's car, and I was like, oh my gosh, that brush is awesome. And she was like, oh, here you go. So I have no idea where this brush came from, but she said it definitely wasn't one of the expensive ones. It was one of the cheaper types. She has a whole kit of it. Anyone else find this time of the year kind of stressful? I know I've been finding it really stressful lately. I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do for presents for everyone? What do I do for, you know, just ordinary stuff? It's like everything during the holiday times, it just gets like 100 times more stressful, and I don't understand why that is, but it totally is. Like everything I do, it seems I'm just stressed out about everything. So I'm going to just take my beauty blender and kind of just go over everything just to make sure it's all set in place. I think that brush gets in there pretty well, and I don't really like just using the beauty blender because I find that brush blends makeup in so well. So I just been using that instead, and it makes it so much easier. But I just use the sponge just to make sure everything is blended well, because sometimes that leaves streaks. So I try to make sure that it's all blended out. So next I'm going to go ahead and take a mixture of concealers. I don't really have a favorite concealer. I like the coverage of Tarte Shape Tape, but it creases really bad underneath my eyes. But I also like the Kat Von D Lock-It concealer. And then I have a few others that are okay. These are just the two that I'm going to do today. I think that it's just a personal preference. I've noticed that if you don't put a ton of concealer on your face, that helps out a lot too. Especially when it comes to Tarte Shape Tape. Holy crap, like, this stuff is so full coverage, and then on top of it, I don't know, for me the Tarte Shape Tape creases so badly, and so like it makes it kind of hard to... Tarte Shape Tape for me just gets to be a little bit too much, and it's too bright. And no matter what shade I got, it's always just a little bit too much. So I like to mix it so that the Lock-It concealer is full coverage as well. But to me, it doesn't seem as extreme as the Tarte Shape Tape. The Tarte Shape Tape is holy crap coverage. I mean, like, look at that. Like, it just made that whole part ghostly pale. I'm sure you can see it. So I've noticed when I mix the two, it makes it so that it doesn't crease underneath my eyes. But you do have to quickly, for me at least, I have to quickly set it. So I'm going to use the Makeup Forever setting powder. It's just a translucent powder. I like it quite a bit. It makes my face really soft, and I like that. I'm trying to think of anything else exciting about myself. I'm planning on taking a trip next year. So if you have any suggestions, I would like to know, because I like traveling and stuff, but sometimes it's hard to pick like one spot in particular you should go to. So I'm open to suggestions. Like right now, I don't know. I'm trying to decide because we're going to probably go during the summertime, and it's so hot where I live anyways that I don't really want to go somewhere else that's hot. Like, I really want to do like Ireland or something, or I've been to London. So I've been to London and stuff, and I loved it. But the problem is that I've been there, and I would like to go somewhere new. And I love Europe like no one's business. I've been to Greece. I've been to Germany. I lived in Germany. I would like to see Asia, but the problem is that I have 2 small kids, and I don't know where to go there. I've never really looked too much into there. I always just did Europe because, you know, I lived there for a while. So then, of course, it just made it easy for me to choose to go there because it was comfortable. It's something comfortable to go to. It wasn't anything that was like crazy scary. Because, you know, like sometimes when you go to a new country, it's kind of scary because you're like, I don't know what to go see and stuff. So I want to know if anyone has been to anywhere in Asia that was worth going to. I want to see China. I want to see Japan. I want to see Thailand, and I want to see everywhere. I'm just going to sum it up there. I want to see everywhere. But I just don't know where to go to. Okay, so I'm using the Chrissy Teigen and Becca Cosmetics highlight and blush palette. I really like the blush. I think it's a good little flush on your cheek. I like the contour shade, and the highlight shade's really nice too, except I have a bruise on my face. I don't know if you guys have ever seen those little suction devices to try to pull out like blackheads and stuff like that. I tried it last night, and it bruised my face on the side. It did on both sides, and it hurts like no one's business. So I don't want to like mess with it too much, because if I mess with it, it's gonna hurt it even more. I'm actually gonna take a little teeny tiny brush, and I'm gonna kind of contour my nose. I have a pretty big nose, as you can tell, and I want to make that look smaller. I would show you what I was using. It's the Wet n Wild contouring palette, but it is a disaster. It broke. So it is getting everywhere. It's kind of orange. So I'm just running this along my nose in hopes that maybe it'll look a little bit smaller. You know, I did this the other day too, and what was funny is that it turned out I didn't draw the lines really straight, so it made my nose look even wider because I didn't draw them straight. Just putting shadows on it in hopes that it'll make it look a little bit smaller. I'm not too worried about it. I used to be super self-conscious about, you know, my face in general. I think everyone goes through that. Like, I don't have a problem with it now so much. Oh great, I made it way too dark and now it doesn't want to blend. Look, if it doesn't want to blend now. Story of my life, right? I'm sure other people experience this all the time. Should have just left it alone. Just accepted it, not made it a big deal. I mean, it looks pretty nice now. I don't know how it looks on camera, but in person it looks pretty good. I'm going to keep blending because I don't want any harsh lines. It's a nice color though. I thought it was going to be too orange at first, but now it doesn't look too bad. I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows real quick. I have the Anastasia Beverly Hills, the Dip Brow Pomade. I use blonde because I don't like my eyebrows to look too dark. So I just use the blonde, and we don't have to worry about it looking really muddy. And I have a really dark color. In one of my other videos, I used it. What is it? The Goof Proof Brow Pencil from Benefit. It's pretty good. The only issue I have is that I have it in a really dark shade, and it looks way too dark. And so for me, I don't like it because I just don't personally like dark brows on myself. I like it on other people, but on myself, it's just, I don't know. I feel like I look like I'm trying too hard. And I have like pretty decent, I mean, besides my brows being insane and like having hairs everywhere, like they're pretty filled in, so I don't need to like crazy fill them in. I just need a little bit in the front and then a little bit of definition. I feel like a lot of times brows can kind of make or break your look. We're gonna go with it. Sisters, not twins, right? Like that's like my life with my eyebrows, is they just have to look close. Then I'm gonna go ahead and take the Benefit Gimme Brow. This is also, I think, in like the lightest shade. It's in shade 1. I like this too. If I'm in a really big rush, I'll just go ahead and stick, oh man, I'll stick this in my brow. My only issue is that it seems to dry out pretty easily. And so, I remember when I bought the thing, the lady in Sephora was like, or Ulta, it was Ulta. She was like, yeah, the only problem is that it dries out fast. And I didn't think much about it at the time, but it dries out pretty fast. I'm going to take a little bit more of the white shade in the Carly Bible palette and just highlight underneath my brow. I'm not going to carve it out, anything like that, because I'm not that worried about it. I'm going to take one of just like a small fluffy brush, and I'm going to take the first shade I put in my crease, like this one right here, and I'm going to run it underneath my lash line. I think that was a mistake of a color. We're going to go with the darker one right here. Yeah, that's better. Run it all the way along. Why is it that I always make funny faces? I know everyone always makes funny faces, but why is that our instant reaction to like go like that every single time you put something near your eye? I'm going to go ahead and take this color right here and run it down underneath as well. Anyone else get nervous when something's that close to their eye? And then I'm going to take the purpley shade out of this too and run it on just the outside. Kind of connect it with the top. I'm going to go ahead and stick the Voluminous Lash Paradise from L'Oreal, I believe. I think so. Yes. And I'm going to stick this on real quick. My favorite mascara right now. So I thought the bird was gone, and then he came back with a vengeance. And now he's attacking the window like no one's business. And he scared me. I was in the middle of doing my mascara, and all of a sudden he popped up. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take the highlight shade right here. Take it on my finger and just put that in the inner corner. So I really like liquid lipsticks, but the problem is a lot of times I can't find a liquid lipstick that stays a long time and looks nice for all day. So I bought some ColourPop lipsticks. I did a review on them, and I'll link that. And I really like their formula a lot. I have the mini ones. I need to get the big ones, but I have 5 shades, and so I've kind of just been going with that. Figured I would swatch them real quick, and then I'll go from there to decide which one I actually want. This one is Tulle. So I think this is a really good way to try out stuff too, is you can always start out with one of these mini kits and then kind of build off of it. So that one's Tulle. This one right here is called Beeper, and that's really pretty. I don't even think I've tried, oh yeah, I've tried Beeper. Beeper was dark. There's Beeper. The next one is Clueless. Clueless is the one I haven't tried. There's Clueless. Next one is my favorite, which is Creeper, but Creeper does not go with my look today, so we won't do that one. And that's the Creeper. And the last one is More Better, and it's a really pretty color. My only issue with this one is that sometimes it can bleed a little, which is okay. You just have to make sure you do it right on the money. Okay, so let's see. You know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and use Clueless. I haven't tried it before. We'll see what the formula is like, and we'll see what I think. Does anyone ever start out making like a normal line, and then all of a sudden you have to overline your lips just because you can't get them to line up like they're supposed to? Okay, so that is the color. It looks a lot darker than I thought it was going to look. But that's okay. It's better than some of the other ones. So the only issue is that it looks like I didn't draw it on very well. So this is my final look. I'm really pleased with it. I think it looks pretty good. The hair is kind of all up in my face, but you know, it'll settle down once it decides to go to its assigned seat. You know what I'm saying? Like, just chill out, just go where you're supposed to go and stay there. Stop moving around. But thanks guys for watching this with me. Thanks for getting ready with me if you did. If you like these type of videos, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I really appreciate it. If you have any suggestions, please let me know, and I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you for watching. Bye!